Hi, welcome to the world of colors. I'm Colors. Today we're going to make a Scarecrow gnome named Patches. He's over here. I don't know if I can get him out to show you. There we go. He's got a scarecrow on his pitchfork. He's all covered in patches, and he's a really plush gnome. He measures about 25 inches long. So we're going to make him today, and I'm going to show you how to make his little pumpkin, talk about making his crates, and his pitchfork. We're gonna pretty much make the pitchfork today. Get it so you understand how to make it pretty easily. So I'm going to be right back with the materials list, and I'll see you in a minute. I'm going to start with the materials list here. I've got quite a few things on the table this morning, and I'm going to start over here with the paper raffia that I found on Amazon with the yellow in there as well. It looks like this paper raffia ribbon, and I'm using this for the straw to come out of his legs and his arms and his hat. So we're just using the yellow in this package, but I wanted to show you what the package looks like. You can probably find that locally, but I got mine Amazon. We're going to use these 12-inch hair rods. I usually use the 6-inch ones, but actually these are 8-inch. I usually use the 6-inch ones from Dollar Tree, and I am going to use the 6-inch ones in his legs today, but we're going to use the 8-inch ones in the arms, which I got at TJ Maxx. And then we're going to use 2 pairs of men's dress socks. I like the heavy, they're kind of like the wool look feeling of the socks. They're the big socks that you need for this big of a gnome. And then we're going to use a 6-inch straw hat, and you get those at Amazon. I couldn't find those locally yet. Maybe they'll come in later. Some acrylic black paint for the pitchfork, a sponge brush, some jumbo popsicle sticks, and some regular popsicle sticks for the pitchfork. And then I'm using 2 crates that you get from the Dollar Tree. The popsicle sticks also you can get at the Dollar Tree, and the sponge brush. The crates you get at the Dollar Tree. I need 2 of those. If you could make up a little scarecrow out of felt, it's just made up with felt and cardboard in the middle. Just the best you can. I'm not going to try to make that on here because it's just too time consuming, but it goes on the top of the pitchfork. And then you're going to need some jute and twine, some chenille stems in the yellow. We'll just use 1 or 2 of those on the pumpkin. And this is what the pitchfork's going to look like that we put on him. As far as the fleece goes and the felt, we're going to need a 9x14 piece of orange fleece for the shirt, and 2 pieces of a 8x9-inch pieces of the orange fleece for the sleeves, and then a 10x16 piece of the orange fleece for the pumpkin, 2 8x9 pieces of the tan fleece for the hat, and 2 8x14 pieces of the red fleece for the pants. We're going to need some miscellaneous green felt for the leaf and the stem on the pumpkin. You're going to need a 4 by 5.5 piece of yellow fur for the beard. And I have some miscellaneous pieces of burlap cut out here that I'm using for the patches. You're gonna need two 8-inch by 8-inch pieces of the moss green burlap that I get at Walmart for the boots, and 3 7 by 7 pieces of the sandstone felt that I get at Joann's for the nose and hands. All this fleece I got at Joann's. You're going to need rubber bands. You're going to need your scissors, your glue gun. You're going to need these pink clips that you get at Dollar Tree. Come in very helpful. You're going to need your glue sticks, some firm hairspray, and we are going to put some blush on his nose. So you need some type of blush and a little brush to put that on with. And that should be it. So I'm going to clear these things away and I'll be right back with you. So here we are with all of our supplies in front of us, and we're getting ready to start crafting and make the scarecrow. I'm going to start by making his hat and set that aside. So what we want to do is we want to get out our, where did I flip my tape at? There we go. Our 8 by 9 pieces of tan felt. There's two 8 by 9 pieces of tan felt. I'm going to take the tape off this one. You want to put what appears to be the right sides together. It's pretty close, but I did figure out which ones were the right sides. Put them together as close as you can get them. And then you just want to cut out your Christmas tree shape. Leave about a 1/2 inch at the top so it doesn't come out too pointed. I do it like that. Start at the bottom corner and just go up to the top. Like that. Like that. We've got those cut out like that, and then still keeping the right sides together, we want to glue both sides and the little piece at the top together. So you just want to start by putting a little bead, maybe 1/4 inch in. And put your corners right together. I need to adjust my glue gun here a minute. And you just continue on by putting your glue gun to place your glue bead right about 1/4 inch in. Do the other side. And then you want to put, and trim mine off a little bit here. You want to put a little bit of glue right there at the top. I'm going to let this set up while we get the hat, the straw hat, ready to go on. So just set that aside and let that cool off. And take out your 6-inch straw hat. I got this from Amazon. I looked around at the local stores and I couldn't find this locally, so I did order these from Amazon. And I chose the 6-inch to go with the size of the Scarecrow that we're doing. So what you want to do is you want to take a pair of scissors and just go down through the middle of the hat, because we're just going to be using the rim. And I went down to this one, the center, and then go down through the sides. And then you just want to go around and cut out those 4 pieces. Like that, you're going to be cut out the 4 pieces. So it's all you have left is the rim of the hat. Now our hat should be nice and cool. You want to turn that to have the right side out. Put some polyester fiber fill in there. And what we want to do is slip the rim of the straw hat over the cone that we just made, the fleece, this tan fleece, and all the fleece came from Joann Fabrics. And you want to flip your hat over, and you just want to bring the fleece to the edge of the hat all the way around. What you can do is start gluing this bottom on by gluing the seam at the bottom that came out the bottom right back to the top. Line up that area right there. We're going to trim that off in the end. You just want to go around and do it in quarters. Right up to the edge. I'm holding that for just a minute. Actually, that could be a good place for the clip to go. And right here, you're on the other side, and you'll see the seam lines right up again. So put your glue on there. Get that lined up good. And the last place you want to get your initial glue is on the very opposite side. And get that glued. That makes it a pretty neat little project to make the hat. Then you want to go around in the middle and pull those up and put a little bit more glue on them this time. And pull those up right to the edge. And glue. We got the whole thing. I'm going to let that set up for a minute while I put the patch on. There's a couple things that go on the hat. We'll put the patch on the front. You gotta be very careful about that. There's not a lot that protects your fingers. And then put a little bit of twine on it. We're going to be doing two that size. You know, my wonderful husband volunteers his Saturday morning every week to come down here and film this video to make it possible for me to do it. And he does a really good job, I think. So that's how you do the patch. All the way through the gnome. This is how we're going to do the patches. And then we're going to put a little bit of jute at the top. I want to unwind it a little bit. And then we have a little bit of straw coming out the side of his hat. You just want to take the paper ribbon and fold yourself down about 1.5 inches. pieces. And you might want to later on fool around with these a little bit more and get them unwound a little bit. Go around and unwind your straw pieces. And I'm just going to take these and tuck it right into the side of the hat here. And I'll do that a couple times. I'll do it again before we're done in that spot. And then is how I did the bending of the hat, is I took a roller from the Dollar Tree and I just slid it up the back of the hat. So it's in there like that. And then it allows you to bend your hat like that. So it's all ready to be glued on to our gnome. We'll get rid of our clips. We'll use them again shortly and when we make the pants. And the hat is all ready. See a piece here I need to trim off. A little seam part on both sides. The hat is all ready, and we're going to put that to the side. Now for the body, I'm going to use a pair of the men's dress socks that I got at Walmart. And these are Dickie, I believe. Yeah, they're Dickie dress socks. Really nice ones. We're going to take and we're going to cut off the tops of the socks just about 3/4 of an inch above that heel. About like that. And then these will be the sleeves. And we'll have red cuffs on our sleeves, which will be nice. So I'm going to set the sleeves aside so we're ready to do that. And we're only going to need one of the bottoms for the body because these are so thick. You don't need to double them up. So we're going to put this one aside for another gnome. And I'm going to put some marbles in the bottom of this. I'm not putting any marbles in the boots on this one. So I've got this filled to 9 inches. 9-inch body from the bottom to the rubber band. The stub up here is a little bit longer than I like to work with, so I'll cut that off a little bit. Maybe a 1/2 inch. Like that. And then I've got my front here, which really doesn't make a lot of difference, but I always find my front. And what we're going to do next is we need to put the legs on before we put the arms on. So we're going to make the legs next. We're going to take our second pair of Dickie socks from Walmart. And we're going to cut our body, the bottom pieces of it to make the legs. So what we want to do is we want to just cut right across. The legs are long on it. I'm making them long on purpose. Cut right across like that for the legs. And we want to save the top pieces to go with that bottom piece that we had from the body to make another gnome. So we take these 2 leg pieces and I'm straightening it out so the front of the sock is showing. So we have the seam of the sock coming down to the front. And then what you want to do is put some polyester fiber fill in there. I'm going to make the one leg up, and then on the video, and then make the other one off the video to save time so the videos aren't so long. I'm going to take 2 of the 6-inch rollers that you get in a package like this at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take 2 of those and put them together with some masking tape. You just want to roll them together. And then you want to put it in, make your tunnel in the middle of the sock, tunnel through the polyester fiber fill to the bottom, and put that right in there, and bring your sock all the way back up. Then what you want to do is take a rubber band and gather up that raw edge there at the top, and make sure that your roller is included in there, and use rubber band to fasten it all together. And that's the part that'll be glued onto the gnome. And then you want to come down to the bottom, get another rubber band, and make sure that the bottom of the roller is down there in the area that's going to be the boot. And fasten that off. And then in the middle, I put another one, and that is really just to hold it all together. Gives it another spot that we can hold the roller in place. So then you have your leg. This will be attached to the bottom of the body. And that's how we're going to do the legs. So I'm going to do the other one, and I'll be right back with you. So I've got the legs done. They're ready to be glued on. And what we want to do is stretch out the bottom of our body a little bit. And you want to get the glue right on the ends of your legs. And you don't want to worry if anything's sticking out from the bottom of the body, because he's going to have pants out over all this. So you want to put your body right on the legs like that. And you want to let that set up. While I'm letting this set up, the legs to the bottom, I add a little drop of glue in there and in there. These are not areas that you're going to be able to see at the end. But I like it to be extra secure for it to be picked up and picked down. Picked up and put down so many times. Okay, so we've got the legs all glued on. I'm letting it sit there and set up even more. And while it does that, I'm going to make the pants. So we want to take our 2 8x14 pieces of red fleece from Joann's. 2 8x14 pieces of red fleece. And we want to put the right sides together. pretty close, but one seems to be a little bit fuzzier than the other side. Is all we want to do on this is, as far as gluing this, is glue both the long sides and then leave the ends open. Get that straight. I'm going to glue both the long sides. I'm going to do one side and then I'll be back with it finished. So the sides of the pants are set up now, and we're going to turn it right side out. Like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put the gnome, or put the fabric, one of the two. We're going to put them together. We're going to slip the fabric over the gnome. The boots are actually a little, the fabric is a little bit underneath the boots. I'm going to tie the waist with some twine. And that looks perfect, like a perfect waist for a scarecrow that someone put together in their field. You want to make sure the seams are on the sides of the legs, and then make our cut down the middle of the fabric so that we can make them have pants on. Just want to cut right down the middle. A sharp pair of scissors is really important. I change my scissors out quite often. I should have a sharpener, I guess, and sharpen them, but I change my scissors out and then I use my old ones for different crafts. But my fabric scissors, I make sure are really sharp. So you want to do it like that, and then is what you do is you take your pink clips and you clip your fabric in place. All the way around. I'm going to put these clips, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to glue all the way around this. It's not a long ways around, doesn't take very long to do. And you want to make sure you start right here in the corner here and make sure that lines up really well. That'll be the bottom of the pants. Put your clip right back on there. So I've got the pants all glued around. Took my clips back off. I had the clips on there while it was drying. Took the clips back off. Now we're ready to put on the boots. So we want to take the two 8x8 pieces of moss green burlap that I got at Walmart. And you just want to take the center of the piece of burlap and put it on the center of the foot and pull it up. Like that. So we got this kind of how you want the foot to look after you get it done up. Like that. And then I'm going to cut around the burlap. I'm leaving it about an inch. Now I pulled it, the edges a little bit, make it look nice and worn. And then you want to take a piece of twine and tie a little, got a little, it's not really a bow, it's just tie it into a knot and clip it kind of an inch on each side. And pull that apart. And that's how your boot would turn out, like that. Now I'm gonna do the other boot and I'll be right back with you. So I got the pants are glued, the boots are on, I've got the raffia on the twine on the boots. And I went ahead and put the patches on the pants. It's the same way as I put the patch on the hat. And I showed you how to do that. And I just did the same thing and put the two patches on the pants to save time. So the next thing I want to do is make the nose and the hands. You take your 3 7x7 pieces of sandstone felt. This felt I got at Joann's. And they're all made the same way. I did give them kind of a big nose. Just put your fiber fill right in the middle of your felt. Push it through with your thumb. And you want to take your rubber band and fasten it all together. You get your little round nose. I'm going to blush out the nose. I put blush on the nose so I don't forget. You just want to take a makeup compact of blush that you can get at the Dollar Tree if you want to, and a brush, and just powder the nose to give it a little bit more color. I wanted it to contrast a little bit from the hat, so I decided to put a little blush on the nose. So now I'm going to make the hands. I'm going to do the hands the same way that I just did the nose. I've got the hands and nose made, and what I want to do is blush out the nose. Just about like that. And then I'm going to glue the nose on. Put the glue right on the bottom of the nose. And glue it right on the stub there. So the next thing that we want to do now that I have the nose set up on there, is make the arms. I'm going to put the arms together. I want to start by taking and putting a little fiber fill in these are the top of the socks that we started out in the beginning when we did the body. We cut off the tops of the socks and we're going to use those for the arms. So we want to put the fiber fill in the sock. About like that. And then I'm going to use one of the 8-inch rollers that I got from TJ Maxx. And I want to tunnel down through the middle of the arm and put the 8-inch roller in there right down into the hand. What I'm going to do is fasten it right here at the top. And then we can fasten it in the middle. You're not going to see this part of the arm after we get the shirt on. I've got a long rubber band there, and I'm gonna just fold it in half basically on my hand so that I can use it. This is where the hand's going to go, and this is where the top of the sock, that's going to be the cuff that's going to show. We'll put a piece of twine around that because that rubber band will show. And you want to cut out the extra fiber fill. See, now the arm is bendable because we put that roller in there. Now what I want to do is put the twine around the wrist. Just tie it like that in a knot. Cut it off short. And then I'm going to glue the hand in place. You just want to take your hand, put your glue on the top, and then all around the rubber band. Put it right on top of the roller and close up the whole thing up with the cuff, and then let that set up. Now I'm going to let that set up. I'm going to go ahead and make the other arm, and then I'll be right back with you and we'll glue them on. So I've got the arms finished. The hands are all glued in place. I've got them bent a little bit for which side they're going to go on. And I need to put the sleeves on. I told you we're going to come back and glue these on, and I misspoke. We're going to put the sleeves on next. So we need the two 8-inch by 9-inch orange fleece pieces to make the sleeves. Okay. I got this fleece at Joann's. So what we want to do is take the arm, straighten it out, and just put it at the length where we want the cuff to show, because it's a pretty color. It'll blend right in nicely. We want that to show, that little detail. And we'll just take the sleeve and glue it together. And then clip it. And get some more glue. So I've got both of them glued. They're clipped. This one has had a chance to set up. And so we'll finish up this arm. You just want to take the top of the sleeve, the orange fleece, and do it up with your rubber band about 1 inch down. Nice and tight. And then we'll glue this on so that seam is not in the back and not in the front. It's just kind of hidden going down like that. We're going to glue it right here onto the stub of the body like that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there. More than a little bit, really. And I'm going to put it right around here on the back of the stub and hold that in place to let it set up. So we've got the arms glued on. They're still setting up, and I'd like to see them set up for maybe 5 more minutes before I start putting the shirt on there. But let's get the shirt ready over here. The 9x14 piece of orange fleece, 9x14 orange fleece that we got at Joann Fabrics, and we cut it down so we could make a shirt out of it. It's a 9x14, and want to take the fabric. I had it laying here folded in half. This is how big it really is. We're going to have it folded in half, and then make sure that's really even. Then fold it in half again. And then you just want to take your scissors and cut out a little, maybe quarter size circle out of that. And you want to put it right over the head or the nose and the stub. Is what we're going to do is we're going to take our clips and clip it in place, and so that we know we have the right amount of fabric on each side before we glue it. We'll just take a few clips on each side. We want to glue up that. All right, I've got both sides glued and clipped. I'm letting them set up. And what I do on this is I don't want it to be real taut in here. I want it to flow nicely. So I cut the shirt down the center. Not all the way, just about like that. So we can have it free flowing underneath the beard, which is coming up next. So what we can do next is we can put the patches on the arm, which I have the natural patches that go on the arms. I've got 2 of them to place on the arms. And we're going to put those on the same way that we did the hat and the legs. I'm going to do another one right here. Okay, so we've got the sleeves on, we've got the patches on the sleeves, we've got the shirt on, and now we're ready to put the beard on. And what you want to do is take your yellow piece of fur that I've got the yellow fur from Amazon. Hard to find, but Amazon does have it. I cut a 4 by 5.5 inch piece for this gnome. Now what we want to do is we want to take the beard and fold it in half right there at the top. You want to cut about a 1-inch slit in it, like that. And you also want to go at the bottom and take your glue gun and glue the corners up so it's more rounded and not so squared. More round of a shape of a beard. So you get those up there. They glue pretty fast. And then you want to just take that and pull it up underneath the nose, like that. You just want to have it nice and tightly up underneath the nose. And you want to glue it in towards the stub. Kind of want to have all your mechanics right there in a little circle because you want your hat to cover it all up when it's glued on. So I take a comb. It's got a little pick on the one end of it. And I start to make his beard, his mustache, I mean, and shape up his beard a little bit. And take a little bit of firm hairspray. Like that, and that's how you do the beard. And we've got the hat all done and waiting for us. I like to have that done ahead of time. You take the seams of the hat that are on the sides, make sure that they go on the sides, and we're going to glue the hat right on top of the nose. It's very easy to glue the polyester fiberfill instead of the hat, and then you just have to turn around and glue it all again. So you want to make sure you're getting the hat down there onto the glue, the rim of the hat, and not the fiberfill. So I've got that on there. Isn't that going to be cute? He's turning out really nice. I'm going to let that set up for a couple minutes at the top of the nose right there, and then I'm going to drop some glue underneath the sides, between the side of the hat and the shoulder on both sides. So I've got him turned around. This is the back of him, and I've got the front and the two sides of the hat glued, and I'm gonna drop some glue in the back, and I wanted to show you. So you just want to turn up his rim of his hat, and then you want to get it right at the edge of the rim, not on the polyester fiber fill again. And then you can just put your hand up in there and hold that down. Hand up under his shirt and hold it down. Let that set up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, we've got the hat all glued on. He's looking really good. I went ahead and utilized his bendable legs and arms. And I don't have to glue them in. I just have to bend them and they're in place, which is really nice. So this is the pitchfork that I made for him. I'll show you how I did that real quick. This is the Scarecrow. My husband's laughing at my idea of a scarecrow, but this is my Scarecrow. My mistake. This is a crow. This is a pitchfork. It's not a scarecrow, it's a crow. So we're gonna attach them like this under this arm and the crow on the top. But to show you how to make the pitchfork, I just took some large popsicle sticks and I laid them out and glued, took my glue gun, and as I was working I just glued these pieces on like that. Then I glued a piece on top and a piece down here. And I put a piece, another jumbo piece on the top here because I wanted to cut it off bluntly there and have it to be blunt like that. And I just take a pair of scissors. I have a pair of scissors, not my good scissors, but I have a pair of scissors that I just cut these sharp with. And then I cut off this to be blunt so it's not a round. See how I cut these just with a pair of scissors, and so you get your pitchfork that way. And then once you have it all glued together and let it set up for a few minutes, you can paint it with your acrylic paint and a sponge brush. Paint the bottom, and then you want to wrap the top with your twine, and then you have your pitchfork. And then I glue that on. Get these out of the way. I'm going to glue that on right underneath the arm. So I'm going to put some glue right on the pitchfork right there. That ought to glue really good, the twine and the fabric here. Put that in like that. And let that set up. And then we'll put the crow on the top. Okay, so I've got the pitchfork glued on. I went ahead and put the crow on the top of it. Just glued him right on the top of the handle. And the next thing I want to do is, the gnome itself is finished. The next thing I want to do is show you how quick I made the quick little pumpkin here. It's kind of cute. Set next to him. And all you do is you take your 10 by 16 piece of orange fleece, and you just want to glue the side of it together. So I've got this piece glued on the side, and then I want to take it and turn it inside out. So you just have the one seam on it. Like that. And then is what you want to do is you want to take and gather up. I'm sorry. Turn it back. It's been a long video. Turn it back where you're. Haven't turned it back. It's on the wrong side still. We want to be on the wrong side when we do this part. You want to gather up the end of the pumpkin. Like that. And just take your rubber band and attach it. Put it all together. Nice and tight. Like that. And then you turn it back. And that's going to be the bottom of your pumpkin. So you want to take some polyester fiber fill. Put it in your pumpkin. And you just want to do it up like you did the bottom. Take your rubber band, fasten it all up. And then you want to take another rubber band and kind of gather the fabric that's left, because you're going to make the stem of the pumpkin out of that. You don't want it to be bushed out too much. Make sure you're happy with how it falls, how it comes out. And then you just take your, if you want to, you can also put marbles in the bottom of this and plop it down. Give it a little bit of weight if you wanted to do that. You want to take your little miscellaneous piece of green felt that I had you have, and you want to just kind of eyeball it up to the stem and cut your piece that's going to wrap around the stem. That could be a little thinner right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to just glue this around the stem and glue it close at the top. So we need about 2/3 of that maybe. I'm going to cut off a little bit of this orange here. And then you just want to put some glue in the top of the stem and hold that together. While that's setting up, you can take your extra felt and cut yourself a leaf to go on your pumpkin. There you have a little extra pumpkin to go on the side. I did use a yellow orange Chanel stem to make the vines coming off the pumpkin. I just glued those right in there. And that's how you make your little pumpkin. I'll go next to him. Now, as far as the crates go, see if I can get to them here. These crates came from the Dollar Tree store. They're kind of hard to come by. You have to kind of get there as soon as they get put on the shelf. They get sold fast, I think. They look like this, and what I do is I use some Rust-Oleum chalked paint on them. This Farmhouse Red Rust-Oleum chalk paint is the first thing I do with the crate, and I do the inside and outside because I don't know at what point I might want to turn it over and use it in a scene with using the bottom showing. So I do the whole thing with the Farmhouse Red, and then I do the words with the Linen White chalked paint by Rust-Oleum, and I distress the words by taking a clean white cotton cloth, painter's cloth, and I just lay it on the top. After I write the words on there, I just lay the cloth on there and just press it on there and pull off some of that white paint to make it look old and distressed like that. You can see that. After you put the red on, you want to take some black acrylic paint or black chalk paint and take a dry brush, paintbrush, and take the paintbrush and dip it in the paint and just get as much of the paint off the paintbrush as you can, and go over the red with the black. And that's what I did here. You just get as much of the black off the paintbrush as you can to distress it before you put the words on. And that's how they'll come out looking like that. So it's all ready for fall here. And that's the complete project. So we're all set. We're all done today with our project. Patches is all complete. And I wanted to tell you all that if you like the video, make sure to like. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for coming.